in a prior exchange, there was conversation around the various lawsuits that the state of New Jersey has filed against the federal government. The number is around 50. And when asked about the return on investment to New Jersey taxpayers, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said something to the effect of, you know, many of these cases are pursuing federal grant dollars, federal funding, and often result in $1 billion recouped. When it comes to something like Gateway, I understand that perspective, I really do. Mm-hmm. But those are not all the lawsuits that are currently going on with the federal government. We touched briefly on the litigation regarding federal election law. The state of New Jersey is suing the federal government on birthright citizenship. These are federal policy issues. Grant funding is not at stake, certainly not to the degree it is at something like a Gateway. Couple questions here. I mean, how many attorneys in your office are currently working on these cases, which typically tend to be the multi-state cases?
So I'll just go back for a moment. I wouldn't characterize birthright as a federal policy. That's a constitutional, it's a constitutional right.
Fair.
Okay. So, but as far as the attorneys, we have our Office of Solicitor General that has about a little less than a dozen, I believe, attorneys in there, and we have a division of law, as well as some attorneys we have in the front office who work on these things. So we have attorneys, depending on what action it is. Not every attorney, obviously, is working on every case.
Understood, understood.
But those offices also work on lots of things other than, I mean, we're not reflexively anti-Washington, right, where we're just trying to make sure that we're protecting those rights. But the Office of Solicitor General also does all the appeals for the state, right? So we have the criminal appeals that come out of the DCJ sometimes when they're affecting the states or the counties of different criminal matters that come up and through, or civil appeals that happen. Our office does that as well. Understood,
understood. Where I'm going with this, as you can tell, is I think that there is a difference in these various lawsuits between those seeking to recoup dollars and those that are seeking to resolve a federal policy, a constitutional right, et cetera, et cetera. And because this is the Budget Committee and we're concerned about dollars and cents, I want to make sure that all of the effort your office is putting into these matters is New Jersey taxpayer dollars well spent. On that score, would you commit to a cost-benefit analysis before joining another multi-state lawsuit that requires taxpayer funds?
So if we're pulling back to that level, what we're doing is doing in the most efficient way with our existing resources to protect New Jerseyans. So every single factor and calculus that we make on that is to make sure that we have the resources and that this will come back in spades to protect the rights of New Jerseyans. So we do that across the board every time we're taking an action.
Okay, okay. You know, I'll say this. New Jersey's prior comptroller, Kevin Walsh, he issued more than 100 reports detailing very specific and what I find to be very egregious cases of public fraud and abuse of taxpayer dollars. Nursing home fraud, conflicts of interest in public bidding, specific instances of public contract infractions, hundreds of cases of pension fraud, violations of procurement laws. The Murphy administration did nothing with these reports. So the bar for you to exceed is, in my opinion, very low. I am, however, concerned, Attorney General, that 2+ months in, your office has oriented a lot of its time and resources around suing the federal government. I'd like to know when you're going to dedicate the time to prosecute these very specific instances of fraud that have already been uncovered. The legwork has been done. They're just waiting for you to prosecute them.
I am not here to talk about the prosecutions we have or the investigations we have ongoing because I can't, right? So I will tell you that we have spent a lot of time talking about the criminal work generally, but not specifics of what it is. Because you see the federal facing to make sure that we're protecting New Jerseyans from unconstitutional and unlawful actions out of Washington, that does not mean that the 24 divisions that we have across the board, particularly those that are tasked with the criminal enforcement and the work that we're doing, aren't working all of the time to make sure that we're protecting all of those all of the people in this state, whether it's with actions that there may be abuses or whatever it is. We may have not focused on that here today with specific questions, and I am reluctant to share that information, as you can imagine, for various ways that we are in stages of work that we're doing. But it is a focus of many of our divisions, and they're working all of the time to do just that.
Okay, thank you.